I'm not exactly an avid explorer. I only ever leave my swamp once every 6 to 8 months. I'll venture out of Florida, but it's pretty rare. And right now I'm in New Orleans, and I want to give you my review of New Orleans after spending 72 hours here so far. I'm located in the heart of New Orleans. I think, maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of just pulling that out of my ass. I feel like that's probably an accurate statement, though I've only spent all 3 days within a 10-mile radius of the convention center, but I'm told that's where all the hot spots are. So I feel confident in making that bold assessment there. And I recognize that 10 miles around the convention center is a pretty limited sample size to experience all that New Orleans has to offer, the whole kit and caboodle. But even still, I'm going to give you my review 3 days in. It's alright. It kind of just feels like every other city I've ever been to. The only real difference I've noticed so far is that there's 200 cockroaches to every one human being here. It is an astonishing amount of cockroaches. These bastards are spawning in left and right. And I've lived in Florida my whole life, and it is blowing me away. I've seen more cockroaches in the 3 days I've spent here than I have all year in Tampa. Now, for me, it's not that big of a deal. There was a time when I was a little baby bitch boy afraid of those little bastards, but now I've evolved into a 30-year-old, brave, courageous fucking titan of testosterone, and I don't fear a cockroach. I spit on them. In fact, I stepped on one earlier today. That little asshole met a sad fate at the destruction of my size 10 Skechers, and it went straight to Valhalla. Didn't bother me at all. But I feel like a lot of people might find them kind of yucky, so I figured it was worth mentioning here in the review. But also, I do think there are people that might be excited by that many cockroaches. I know cockroach milk has been getting a lot of steam recently in like the health foods community, so if you're someone that likes to go out there and milk the titties of the cockroach, you got your pick of the litter down here in the city. I'll tell you what, there is an ample supply of them. Now, by far, the biggest thing New Orleans is known for is its food. Everyone is constantly glazing the cuisine here, said to be some of the best in the country. So that was something that I was very excited to try. And the food we had today was extraordinary, but for the first 2 days, that was not my experience with it. Though I think, admittedly, it's because we couldn't get into any of like the really, coveted spots. Like the highest rated spots, they were not available for us to eat at. So for the first 2 days, I was kind of just eating normal, like, bar food or like normal restaurant food. Though when we were walking around, I did see a place that claimed to have the number one voted wings and the number one voted burger. Not just in New Orleans specifically, but just the global number one voted wings and burger. I don't know what council of meat decided those things, but apparently it topped the charts, and I really want to put those claims to the test because that establishment did not seem like the kind of place that would have good food. It seemed like the kind of place where the only hamburger I'd be getting served was through the fucking glory hole in the bathroom. Like, I'm excited to see if it lives up to the hype that was on the sign there. But yeah, like I mentioned, first 2 days the food wasn't, blowing my nut off or anything like that. We did have one place called Felipe's where they were serving super burritos, and that was good actually. I enjoyed that a lot. It wasn't like the best burrito I've ever had in my life or anything, but I did really enjoy it. It was a solid burrito. Though the experience of getting the burrito was pretty interesting. We Uber Eats'd it, and our Uber Eats driver thought that Matt was setting her up, like it was some kind of operation to like get her. So it ended up being like a shouting match between Matt and her cousin over the phone or something, all over this misunderstanding. She was also apparently yelling at the hotel staff about it before Matt was able to go get the super burritos. I mean, it all had a happy ending because it wasn't a setup or anything, but it really, I mean, tempers were flared from the super burrito quest here. That shit was like the Chaos Emeralds, but the super burritos were good. It was definitely an interesting Uber Eats experience, though, for sure. So Felipe's was good, and then today we ate at a place called the Foundation Room. That place super slapped. That was absolutely amazing food. They also had like like a live jazz band there that was crushing it. The appetizers, like actually probably some of the best like blue crab dip I've ever had. And by that I mean it's the only blue crab dip I've ever had, and it went insano style. So everything about the Foundation Room food was really good. After that, we went to Cafe du Monde, which is another like really famous spot in New Orleans. From what I understand, one of the most famous, and that's a place that serves like really good coffee and beignets, which I've never had. It's basically like fried dough. I didn't get any coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I can tell you the beignet I got, it was good. I'm not really like a donut guy or a fried pastry enthusiast, but this one was something a little special. What you get at Cafe du Monde is you get a bag of powdered sugar, like almost a full fucking bag of powdered sugar with like three loaves in it, like of fried bread. And what you do is you have to dig around in the powder to find those loaves, or at least that was my experience with it. It was like panning for gold, but it was fried dough in the powdered sugar. And when you get it, it's delightful. It's exactly as it sounds, fried dough with powdered sugar. I liked it. Even though I'm not someone that typically has a sweet tooth, it was a nice little dessert. We also went to Bourbon Street, which is a really famous part of New Orleans. It's just like the strip of bars and other kind of like nightlife activities. That was filled to the brim with human beings. That was a fucking wall of meat. We stopped at Pat O'Brien's, I think it was called, was the name of the bar. We all got some drinks there. And while we were sitting at one of the tables, a fight broke out. And I mean a fight. Like, this wasn't slap boxing, no pussy shit, no Weenie Hut Jr. Like, they were coming for scalp. This was pure animosity. And it wasn't between, like, just drunk patrons at this bar. It was two staff members fought each other. No idea what it was about. I didn't get, like, the lore breakdown or anything here, but it popped off. It started with one of the staff members throwing the other guy onto a table. The tables were made out of fucking cast iron. It sounded like a bomb had blown up or like a dump truck crashed into a building. It was a loud bang. So then naturally all of us turned to watch this rumble unfold, and it was pretty intense. There were punches being thrown. They were throwing hands out there, but then they grappled, like they wrapped up, and then they were kind of just like tussling back and forth while the other staff was like trying to separate them to the best of their ability. And when they finally did get separated, one of the guys walked away completely covered in blood. But I don't think it was his blood. It was all over his shirt. Like, it looked like he had cut a man's head off. He had that much blood on him. It looked like a butcher had just gone to work. Covered in blood, and one of the guys that separated him had a ton of blood on him too, so I'm guessing it's the other guy. And our best guess at what happened is that he must have thrown like an uppercut while they were like grappled in there and broke the guy's nose. Like, his nose must have like actually exploded because there was so much blood. Blood on the ground, blood on them, everywhere. It was pretty crazy. And I feel like if they didn't get separated, that fight probably wasn't going to end until someone was in a coffin. It was brutal. They were not messing around. So then we finished our drinks, and then we went to the next bar, which was a place called Corporation, world famous Corporation, just like a dive bar that a lot of people seem to like around here. It was pretty cozy, really quiet. A completely different experience than on Bourbon Street. We left the PvP zone, so we just kind of chilled there for a little while, and then now I'm here giving you a little New Orleans review. Another thing I noticed is I wanted to go see Thunderbolts when we first got here, but all of the showings for the movie stopped at like 9 o'clock. And then when I looked up like places around here to go for like a couple of supplies that I didn't get before coming, like a toothbrush and shit, a lot of the stores here just also close at like 9 o'clock or earlier. So like it feels like it's the city that always sleeps as opposed to the city that never sleeps, because everything closes really early, at least compared to like Tampa. In Tampa, our movie showings go all the way to like 10:45, even on like a Monday and shit. And I can always go and get like a toothbrush and toothpaste till like 11 p.m. from places. Now maybe, again, I've only spent like a 10-mile radius in New Orleans all around like the convention center, so maybe it's just this general area has like most of the stores and most of like the other kind of facilities close around that time. Now I have a hunch that Bourbon Street probably isn't closing at 9 or 10. I think pretty much everything over there is going to be open much later, like all the bars and everything. Cafe du Monde, I'm almost 100% sure is 24/7. It said that it was open 24 hours. So I think over towards that direction is where most of the things stay open really late, but it's nowhere that I could find to go see like Thunderbolts or get a toothbrush. So just something I thought was worth mentioning, or maybe again it just wasn't giving me all of the options that were available in the immediate area. Also possible, but wanted to mention that. Another thing is there's a casino like right here, which is very interesting to me because in Tampa, our casino is the Hard Rock, and it's like off on its own little place. it's not exactly something you can just go walk to from anywhere in downtown. Whereas here, it feels like it's the centerpiece in the area. So like anytime we're walking around, we'll like walk past the casino or hear people getting fired up at the casino. Also, another thing that I thought was really weird is down Bourbon Street, there were a handful of locations there that had these signs out front that said they don't card. They outright advertised that they don't card at those like bars. I think they were bars, a few of them. I think another one was like a dispensary, but I'm pretty sure they were bars, and they literally say on their sign they don't card people. Now, maybe I'm just a fucking lobotomite here, but I don't understand how they haven't been shut down. I don't know how the cops aren't like swooping in there, scooting in sideways, just zooming, seeing that these businesses, these bars, are advertising that they don't card people before serving them alcohol. That seems very odd. Oh yeah, and another thing on Bourbon Street. There was really a lot of interesting stuff on Bourbon Street. There was a car driving through. It's one of those cars that has like the three wheels and it's like all open. And the guy driving it was playing like loud music, and he was just openly carrying alcohol and like, you know, headbanging with it, just openly drinking and driving and celebrating that. That was fascinating, I thought. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm on the crack pipe and it wasn't actually alcohol. I couldn't see like a label. It just happened to look like it was alcoholic. But maybe it wasn't. I can't say for sure. Anyway, Bourbon Street was an adventure. Yeah, that was definitely an adventure. So overall, my 3 days in New Orleans, today was by far like the most fun day in New Orleans, I would say. Yesterday when we saw Thunderbolts, we went to like the mall here. The mall was pretty cool. I actually liked the mall. It was very like old-fashioned style mall. The movie theater was like very old-fashioned, very comfy. Like it was cool. But yeah, I'd say New Orleans, it's all right. I mean, it just feels like most of the other cities I've been to for the most part. Now the food, like it's big, big thing that people talk about. I will say the hot spots that we have been to, like the places people actually rave about, are incredible. But as for like just normal food, it's normal food. So if you want like the culinary experience everyone likes to talk about in regards to New Orleans, you have got to go to like the most famous spots here. And I do think they live up to the hype. I haven't been disappointed by it yet. So yeah, anyway, that's a review of New Orleans after 3 days here. That's about it. See ya.